Let's start blowing off over there. Leaking gas. Keep away from that.
Pulled a young boy, I guess between the age of 9 and 12. He had a football uniform on. He was laying right behind the airplane, almost up against the wall, and he was crying. And when he started crying, that's when we
see her the way she was. Her feet practically burned off, and they're just bad. Accidents like this, you're going to see these things, and you never get over it.
Oh, God, bud. Come on. Look at this. Let's get closer and get this. On the other side. File, and then we'll start checking. John. Okay. Where's your car? Vinny! You and Ruth? The lieutenant was in charge of it. Yeah, we gotta get out of here. I got 42 feet. Well, come on, break loose somewhere.
Just sitting there, and I thought it was just some gimmick because things came from behind us and just fell on us, and all the tables went on everybody, and some stuff started coming out of the wall, and everybody just ran out, and apparently it was a plane crash. Somebody had come in, and I mean all the way, the whole plane came in, and everything just crashed.
Did you see the plane yourself?
I I didn't see it. It was behind us, and I didn't turn around.
What happened then?
I just grabbed a baby because there were 9 of us, 2 twins, 3 years old, and I grabbed one of them. Just got out of there. I don't know where the other one is, and can't find my mother.
I was all right until I saw a fire, and then I put a spoon in my mouth. The explosion hit, and I was blown to the next seat, and that's all I remember. Then I walked over the table.
Did you walk out of the building on your own power, or were you carried out?
I walked out on my own.
And what happened?
Then this lady said, "Sit down, sit," and I said no, and then she yelled, "Sit," and then she said, "Run back there," and then I couldn't find my father, but I was with my other sisters and my brothers, and so then we told them our father and mother's name, and they found our father. They didn't find our mother yet.
You were at the air show at the time. What did you see from that side?
Well, I saw it was a jet plane, and it started taking off, and it's picking up its speed, and it went up maybe 10 feet in the air, and then it kind of cut down. See, it just it wasn't enough room to take off.
Could you see it bounce across Freeport here?
Well, all I could see is when it hit down, it made a bunch of dust. You know, it hit the dirt first, and it started coming. Then all of a sudden, a big explosion, like a big flame in the air, and you know, all that. Then I looked through my binoculars, and I could tell it was hit the building here. That was it.
Big gold flame hit the side of freeway and went up, just like that, nothing left of it. And then it just went into here. And that's all. It was terrible.
Robin, you were standing on the corner here. What did you see when that plane came across the freeway?
It was up in the sky, and it hit over here, and it ran through the building, and the flames went up.
Okay, now did you see any people come running out of that building?
No, I just seen people falling all over here in this lane. This dead, I don't know whether she was dead or not, but she was laying down there, and then a whole bunch of people from Farrel's then started coming out, running out, and this man was bleeding. He was cut, this Negro man. Oh, it was terrible.
It hit the building. Did it explode before it hit or when it hit the building?
When it hit the building. It exploded before. It exploded over here, and then it went all the way through the building. Like that. It's coming from the airport over here.
He is our manager at this store also. And we've been told by our whole office not to say anything at all.
We will have a statement. If you'll contact our offices in Portland, Oregon, we will have a statement from Portland. We will be, as soon as it's cleared from Portland, we'll be happy to talk to you.
Can you tell us what happened here?
I have no comment.
You certainly had no control over it. Can you tell us what happened here?
I have no comment.
Were you in the building at the time?
I have no comment, sir.
As you told us earlier, you helped bring that pilot out of there. Was the pilot saying anything?
Yes, he was worried about the people inside, worrying if everybody got out okay. He was concerned about them. We told him not to worry, to get out himself. He was really concerned about the people. He said I was sorry. He was kept on apologizing and asking if everybody got out okay and if anybody was hurt.
Chief, can you tell us if the pilot is in custody or has been charged No, he's in the hospital. He hasn't been charged with anything, and of course, the FAA is conducting their investigation of this accident.
You took a statement from the pilot. What did he have to say about what happened?
We took a statement.
I understand he gave the police a statement. That's what they tell me.
Well, I don't have it here, and I don't think there are people are not here that was involved in that end of the investigation. So I don't know what he said.
How about a blood alcohol? They also asked for that. Did you take that?
We requested a blood alcohol yesterday. I know that I did, and I assume it's been taken.
You don't know the result of it?
No. This is a routine matter. In other words, this is one of the things that would be required or requested in every one of them.
Are we going to be able to interview the pilot, Chief King?
As far as we're concerned, we have no objection.
The hospital refers all queries relating to the pilot to you.
Well, we just we have no control over the pilot. It's entirely up to the pilot what he wants to say. Or, I don't know, perhaps the FAA may have some.
He's free to leave the hospital and go home anytime.
As far as we're concerned at this time, yes.
There's never been any consideration then that you might charge him with anything.
Well, certainly there's a consideration, absolutely, and that's one of the reasons for our intense investigation of this matter. 22 people killed and quite a number of injured people, and we're very concerned about this.
But you haven't taken any steps to do that?
Not at this point, no.
Do you know
Of course, a lot depends upon...
Lieutenant Luna, you were one of the first, I think, perhaps the first man on the scene. Can you tell us what your impressions of what it's like?
For the people here, the first one on the scene was this man.
Inspector Vivica was actually there
All
prior
right.
to my arrival.
Let me ask Inspector Vivica. What was the scene like when you got there?
One of my, the first part that I was, like to comment about was I happened to be in my police vehicle. I just left the house and I was headed out to check on another matter, and I heard one of our motorcycle officers, apparently was the first officer at the scene, and he reported that there'd been a plane that just hit the Farrel's restaurant, that they were people trapped in the restaurant, and requested all available ambulances be sent to the restaurant. And this is one of the main concerns there for the first couple of minutes while I was on my way out there. They kept asking for more ambulances. When I arrived there, there was already a lieutenant and at least 3 or 4 police sergeants at the scene. They had the area fairly well handled as far as crowd control, traffic control. The building was still on fire, and one of the things that was very impressive to me is that firemen, policemen, and some civilians were already entering the building with stretchers and were bringing people from out of the building and into the ambulances. And the ambulances were already leaving with some people when I arrived there. And this continued on for over half an hour to an hour, that they continued to enter the smoking and burning building there, and they kept bringing out more people. Another thing that I think was
accident. That's Gene Irwin, our custodian foreman here in the police department.
What happened?
Well, I think that will be part of the report by the FAA. That's their evaluation and really their responsibility from that end.
Are you saying you did not investigate that aspect?
What that pilot told your officers, part of public record, part of the investigation? Will that be
If
made
our
public?
people talk to them at this time, I don't think that it's part of a public record, no. It's an investigation that possibly, could be used as a matter of filing the claim, or, making an arrest. So it wouldn't be a public record at this time.
Has anything come to your attention, sir?
Any reports, I don't really know what's been said, what's been found from our end of it, but certainly there's a very comprehensive investigation underway by the FAA that this is well within their responsibility.
There's been nothing to come up to suggest that you should ask the man to stay in Sacramento.
Not from my point of view.
Had the hospital told you how long they expect the pilot to be in the hospital?
Don't know that.
Is it correct you have not requested a statement from the pilot? As the chief of police, your office has not requested him to make a statement?
Well, I'd say this, that my investigators have been investigating this accident, and I would assume they've probably talked with this man, although I can't say that they have or have not. I know that we have a comprehensive investigation of this accident too underway.
Right here with the light, okay? Behind you. Couldn't really say what had happened.
What were the types of injuries that you saw?
Well, at this moment, I've been asked not to comment. I know quite a few people were hurt, and I can't say anything. I'm not allowed to say what has happened in there at all.
Do you have any warning at all that this was going to take place?
No, and I can't really. He happens to be. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm sorry?
Does your office up there know about it yet?
Yes, I've talked to our office.
And what does your office say?
No comment. I'm very sorry.
Of primary concern now, at least to investigators, is what caused the Sabre jet to go out of control and crash. The National Transportation Safety Board has been called in to investigate, as well as the FAA. What they'll be to determine... Of primary concern now to the investigators is what caused the Sabre jet to go out of control and crash. The National Transportation Safety Board and the FAA will jointly conduct the investigation. Among the topics for primary investigation will be three things: mechanical error and pilot judgment. What they're saying is that there's a possibility that the pilot may have Of primary concern to the investigators is what caused the Sabre jet to go out of control and crash. The National Transportation Safety Board is flying in specialist teams from Washington, and the FAA is also assisting in the investigation on the crash. Among the things for topic... Of primary concern now to the investigators is what caused the Sabre jet to go out of control and crash. May have to go down it.
Right here.
From where I was at, it'd be pretty hard to tell what happened. I mean, I didn't really know what happened until after I was on the outside of the building. But there was a loud explosion, and people were screaming, and fire started out immediately. And there was a couple people where I was standing at that were there's a little partition between us, bars, and I was trying to put fire extinguishers through there to put the fire out, and no way to help them.
Where were you when the plane hit Farrel?
I was actually behind the waiter bar.
Which is how far from the front?
From the front of the store? Yeah. Okay, I was between the kitchen and where the customers were sitting at. There's a little space in there called a waiter bar.
Was there any damage done to the area in which you were located?
Yes, it was almost completely demolished.
How were you able to get out?
Crawl on the floor, out the kitchen.
How many people were with you in there?
I really don't know, sir. I think there was one other employee, manager trainee like myself, and maybe one of the waitresses. But I'm not sure if she was there or not. I don't know if she... I remember seeing someone, but I don't know who it was.
You had no advance warning that anything was happening outside?
No, sir.
What were your initial feelings? What was your first feeling when, I guess, the building shook or a fire broke out? What did happen and how did you feel?
I think the initial thing that I
started running. My father and I started running over the Farrels. We seen it crash, and we was over here just seconds after it crashed. I saw it screaming, breaking windows, trying to get the smoke out, and screaming for people to come over. We hear women screaming, and the kids crying, and started breaking windows. And the pilot came over by us.
The pilot was there?
Right, the pilot got out. Yeah, he had a broken right arm. That was a few little cuts on his head. We got him and two other fellows, I don't know who they were, came over and was reaching for the pilot, trying to lift him out.
He was still in the plane then?
No, he was out of the plane walking. He was out trying to get out the window, but the chute was out, and the cords were hooked on something inside the building. And we hollered for our knives, and somebody gave us a knife, I don't know who, and it cut the cords and took the pilot out and set him down.
Now I know a lot was going on at that moment, but what do you recall about what else was happening inside Farrel's?
There was smoke all over, and hear people screaming inside and hollering, just panicking. It was a long time. Little kids screaming, hear the women screaming, kids crying. I ran into the door, and I took a step in and got knocked out. It was the smoke and gas was awful. You couldn't get in at all. You couldn't breathe. You couldn't see in front of your face this far.
You said that you were breaking the windows on the outside. Were people coming out through there then?
I seen two come out. Most of them coming out through the door. Most of them evidently knew approximately where the door was at. And quite a few people was helping them. At that time, there was quite a few people came in more to help.